Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Prompt Me, Please podcast. This is a safe space created for you to think different, to do different, so you can be different through the art of journaling and with the power of reflection. Once again, thank you guys so much for even clicking on this video. I am super, super excited for today's episode, and let me know what you think about it when you're done watching it. Today's guest that I have with me, I am very, very excited. Like this woman, when I think of Superwoman, I think of this woman. She is very near and dear to me, to my heart. This is my mother figure, and you're going to get to know my story a little bit more today. In honor of Mother's Day, we're going to be talking about motherhood, a mother's love, and there's nothing like a mother's love. So I want to introduce to you all what I call her, what the world knows her as Auntie. We love y'all. Give it up for Auntie Lynn or Linda Grayer. Hey, Auntie, you are here.
Good morning.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. Wonderful.
Good. So I just want to break the ice a little bit, First of all, thank you for just being here. And I know this is like your first time being on something like this. So we're just going to loosen up a bit. If you don't know, you like playing games.
Yes, I do. I enjoy games.
Okay. And so the game that I have in mind is I watched this TV podcast show called The Terrell Show. It's like a game show. You don't know who Terrell is, but he's a content creator. He lives in LA and he has a love for music. You like music?
Yes.
Okay, great. And so what he does is he gives his guest one word. He gives his guests one word and they have to sing a song with the word, and they have 12 seconds. You think you up for that challenge, Auntie?
Let's try. I'll try.
Okay. Your word is woman.
Oh, man. More than a woman. That's all I remember is more than a woman.
Who sing that song?
More than a woman to me, I don't know.
Who sing that song?
I don't know.
Oh, that's Aaliyah.
Okay. I'll take that.
More than a woman for you. Do you know that song that I'm talking about, babe? More than a woman for you. That's a Aaliyah song. Yeah, literally. Okay. You did good. Okay, now it's your turn. It's your turn. You have to give me a word, and I have 12 seconds to sing the song with the word.
Mama,
you know I love you. Ooh, you know I love you, mama. Come on.
Mama, you're the
Queen of my heart.
I was going to say, Mama, you're the cream of the crop.
But that's good. You did good, Auntie. Give it up for Auntie.
Thank you.
Okay. That was awesome. Okay, so Auntie, I want to know the origin story of the woman who you are today and how you became a mom. A lot of people don't know. They know you as Auntie, but you're like our mom and our auntie. And it's so crazy because, you never told us to call you mom. You just said, we could call you auntie, and we always been calling you auntie all of our years of knowing you. So what's the origin story? How did you become a mom?
Right. It's amazing to me because I always think about how I end up with no children. I birthed no children, but I end up with a house full of children.
Right.
And it was just a blessing. When you all came into my life, the system, they said, you can adopt them and everything. And I'm like, and they'll call you mom. And I'm like, no, they know their mom.
Right.
That's my sister.
Right.
And there's no need for me to, to try to take that away from them or take that away from her. They know their mom. So,
That's
no,
right.
I'm always auntie. And when I talk about you all the time, I say my daughter,
Yeah.
my granddaughter,
Yeah,
my
my
grand.
son.
And then they go, you didn't have any children? And I
Right.
said, I raised 4.
Yeah.
I raised 4,
Yeah.
and I consider you all my children, but I know you still have a mom, you still have a dad. They were all active in your lives, but
Yeah.
it was just a joy. And you know what? People would always say, you are really blessed. You are really blessed, because I think back, it was a challenge, and I wouldn't give it back for the world.
Really?
I wouldn't take it back for the world.
That's awesome to
Beautiful.
hear. I mean,
Beautiful.
I'm a mom and I only have one. And when I go through my journey of motherhood and the struggles that I go through with one, I always think about you. I'd be like, how did Auntie do this? And she had 4. Like, let's be for real, because it was very tough. And like, how did you feel? Like, my mom had my brother Sam first, rest in peace. Like, we miss you, Big Sammy. And then a year later, had my big sister, Bebe, as people know her, or Camille, how she introduced herself. And then she took a break. Okay? And then we had Jimbo, James. And then a year later, I came. Like, the kids just kept coming. And you was taking them. And you were taking them. And
it became overwhelming because I would tell my mom, how did you do it?
Right.
You had 5 kids in 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And then you all, my Sammy, baby, steps. It was always 2 in Pampers. It was 2 in Pampers, one on the way out, but it was still 2 in Pampers.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, a break. And then here you come. Jimbo and you come.
Yeah.
And again, 2 sets of Pampers.
Yeah.
2 sets of Pampers. And it was overwhelming because for a minute I thought I was losing it.
I
And,
know, I bet.
And that's when your godmama, which is my cousin Sonya, stepped in, and she took you for a year.
Yeah.
And you know what? You probably would still been there.
Yeah.
But my mom told, she kept you for a year.
Yeah.
And so my mom said, it's time.
Wow.
I guess she said, I can handle it now.
Wow.
Because
that's
it
crazy.
was a lot. It was overwhelming. It was overwhelming.
Like, Janice, can you stop having these kids?
Yes. And I made sure you all were in church every Sunday.
Yeah.
And so we would be there.
Yeah.
And it was like I always worked. And so for Friday night, I would start getting ready for Sunday.
Yeah.
I really did.
Wow.
Friday night, I would start getting ready for Sunday.
Yeah.
Getting ready for church.
Because you were in school.
I was in school.
Talk about it.
Right. Working full time in school. I loved my job, and I had it takes a village.
Right.
Because you all had Grandma Barres.
Yep. My
You had
dad's
your
mom.
aunties.
Yeah.
Auntie Laverne, Auntie
Yeah.
Louise.
Yeah.
Grandma Barres never said no. She
Never.
would give me a break. Never.
I remember being over there.
Be in them streets.
Okay, Auntie
When I
said
had
she was
time.
still outside.
Still. I couldn't go live. But I was still,
No, not back then.
And she would give me a break if I want to take a girls trip
that's
and go
what's
out
up.
with the girls.
That's amazing.
And I loved it. I wouldn't take it back for nothing.
Yeah, that's
I enjoyed
awesome. That's really, really awesome. What has being a mother taught you about love?
It's different levels of love.
Yeah.
And I love you all unconditionally. Sometimes it could be I'm really proud of you all.
Oh,
And
thanks.
you are easy to love. And you
thanks.
you show love to your children and you show me love. So it's unconditional and I love you all and I'm just it's like the time flew.
Yeah.
The time flew. And so
Yeah.
now you all saw love.
Yeah.
And we have a very loving extended
Family, we do.
and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, what was the challenges of being a mother? Like you said, it was just like 2 at a time and we were both in Pampers versus like us being teenagers and then like young adults. Can you talk about the transition of your motherhood and like parenting changing, like changing up the dynamics of how you parent, because how you parented your Sammy was not how you parented the baby girl of the family.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Because when we were coming up, when my mom, she was mainly, my dad was present, but my mom, she was the the really the head almost.
Yeah.
And she would let us, the boys, it seemed like we said the boys would get away with murder.
Yeah. That's what I said too.
But I would see it now. I mean, I think I parented equally. That's what I think.
Okay.
That's what I saw in my eyes. But with the girls, you wanna keep them near, and I don't think the boys really got away with murder. You all say that, but I don't think the boys got away with murder.
You really think that? That's crazy.
They say that, but I don't know. The
That's
girls,
crazy.
I guess you get a little more stricter, and you want to keep them a little closer to you. They can't go run the streets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You want them to be safe and
Right.
right.
Okay. If you could go back into time to change one thing about your journey of motherhood, what would you change?
You know, we parent the way we see our parents parent.
Correct.
We're not always right. We make mistakes.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
If I was to do it all over again,
Would you change anything?
maybe I change a little bit, a little less butt whoopings, maybe a little more talk, maybe.
Yeah. Because do you see the difference in parenting, like when you were growing up versus like how you're seeing your children raised, like their children were raising children in different times, like different decades. And I feel like the trend of parenting is changing. Like people are becoming more social emotionally inclined and like building emotional intelligence and digging deep into past traumas to face them head on, having more tough conversations. Like, do you see the difference with that?
Yeah, I see a lot of talking, a lot of soft parenting. Especially by me being an educator, and I see the difference. The difference, because I would have students tell me, you could call my mama. All you're gonna do is just talk. Children telling me this.
Yeah.
So they know. Right. They know it's a time to talk. You can get talked out. There's a time you have to show a little action. Maybe you don't have to be as stern.
Right.
But you show. You can be stern and still show love.
Yeah.
You know
I believe that
love.
too.
You can still, because you want your children to know. When I say no, no means no.
Yeah.
No means no.
Yeah.
Sometimes I used to tell you all no just to say no.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna hear no sometimes.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear it.
Yeah.
And you say, why I can't do it? Because I said no.
That's crazy.
No means no. You want to hear it.
Yeah.
Society's going to tell you no.
Yeah. I was going to say, by you saying that, it really resonates with me being a mother, because that's what Will and I are dealing with Micah right now. Like, by him being our only one, and when we tell him no, why? I be like, sometimes I just look at him and don't even give him an explanation. But I try to discern when to give him an explanation to understand, like, this is why I said no. But I don't give him an explanation every time. But I do think, because that's how I was raised. Like, no, period. That's it. That's all.
Right.
So I feel like I resonate with that, because I'm dealing with that now, being Micah's mom. What was the biggest aha moment that you could think of when it came down to raising us? Like, aha moment being a light bulb went off, you made a connection, you was dealing with a challenge, and you was like, oh, like that's how it goes, or that's how it works, or it was supposed to be like that. Can you think of a time you could share a story, like whether it was with one of your 4 children? One of your 4.
Well, I think that raising you all came up to be 4 separate individuals.
That's right.
Which I like about that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I could see some of the things I instilled in you all from your actions.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that you haven't you had the spiritual connection with God, because I made sure you all stayed in church. Now you may venture and see that you still have it within you.
That's right.
And that's what I thank God
That's
for,
right.
because we went to church
Every Sunday.
So now we may not go to the same church,
Right.
but you still
Go to church. That's right.
every Sunday, mainly the girls. And
No shade.
the boys, it's still they still know God, and know how to treat people, and can show love and concern, which is, I thank God for.
Yeah, yeah. And why was church so important to you, for us to be in church? Because I do remember being heavily active in the church, okay? You name it, I did it, except for the usher board. But I do remember you doing Bible studies with us in your bedroom at times. You all bought us our own individual Bibles as well. Christmas speeches, Easter speeches.
A must.
We've done it. Singing in the choir, praise dance. Like, you always encouraged us to tap into something that we were interested in. Like, I think singing in the choir was like a non-negotiable. Like, all your kids sung in the choir. But you had us to try something out in the church. And I think that resonates with us still to this day. My dad's mom, rest in peace, Reverend Iola Burris, she was a pastor. And I remember after church, she would have church. So we going from the west side to the south side to go to whatever church celebration they were celebrating. And they say, can we call the Beresh children up to sing a selection? We like, what is we about to sing? And we'll just go up there and they'll just encourage us. But you would be there too sometimes. So I'm saying, why was church so important?
Well, I come from a heavily spiritual family also. I was brought up in church. My extended family, we're all, deeply rooted in the Word of God, and we go to church, and that was just instilled in me.
Yeah.
My mom, Pauline Creighton Gassaway, rest her soul.
Yes.
She, a lot of times she even have to work Sundays, and she because of her job. So that's how I ended up going to the church that I go to, because it was walking distance, and plus because the neighbor next door went to that church. So she would say, she had to work, so she was like, you all can go to church with Miss Plessy Marshall.
Wow.
Miss Marshall next door.
Yeah.
Go to church with her, go to Sunday school with her, and that's how I stayed in church. And
what did you do when you were in church? Because we did
church,
all the things. So what did you do?
I did Sunday school.
Oh, okay. We went to Sunday school too. That was a must.
Right. I went to Sunday school, and eventually I got in the choir as a young adult.
Okay.
Missionary society. I
Okay.
liked doing that because we would go out in the community and do missionary work.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. I remember you were a part of one of the clubs at New
I used
Landmark.
to be a trustee.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we got out of church when you all were little.
Right.
I would still be in the church office
In a
trying
meeting.
And write checks
Checks
out
for the church.
to pay church business. But I was like, it got to be too much because
You got these
we've been
kids.
in church, we've been in Sunday school, you've been in church, and now you're running the hallways while I'm still trying to do church business. So, yeah, where I was brought up in church, and that was a must.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! So we
Yeah.
didn't go to church. PG, Arlene Gasaway.
Yeah.
You just better go sit down the rest of the day because
really?
you on her list.
Ooh.
If you didn't go to church,
Okay,
If you didn't go
okay.
to church, that's as a young adult, like
Mm-hmm.
in high school. But I always loved church. I've been going to the same church
Yeah.
since 8th grade.
Wow. A long, dedicated, faithful member. Meanwhile, today we hop around from church to church. Church hoppers. That's what they call us. But it kind of goes on, coincides with the next question I was going to ask you. So I see that spirituality played an important piece of how you decided to raise your children. But was there a particular parenting style that you adapted and you wanted to parent like this, or by how, your mom raised you, you like, I'm not going to do this with my kids, or how she did? I know church was something, but was it something else where you like, I'm not doing this with them because I didn't like it, versus I will do this with them because it was successful?
Raising you all, I mean, my mom was my role model. If she give us chances,
Yeah.
you didn't get whippings and beat downs all the time, but you with my mom.
Yeah.
You saying no, you can't do this,
Yeah.
no, you can't do that,
Yeah.
or I told you not to do it, and
Right.
you keep doing the same thing. So sometimes she believed in spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah. Okay.
And I always laugh at my sister.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I had two sisters.
Right.
Like rest their souls. I can't. Every time I think about it, I said I can't believe I used to have two sisters.
Yeah.
And I was the middle. So my
Yeah.
baby sister, that's you all's mom,
Right.
Janice. My older sister is Deborah.
Right.
And she was the soft one. She
Auntie
tried
Deborah.
the soft parenting.
Auntie Deborah was the soft one?
Yes, she
That's
tried
funny.
the soft parenting. She didn't want to spank. And
Okay.
that Sammy, my Sammy,
Yeah.
he's the one that tried it.
Yeah.
So when she broke out the belt, I said, oh no, you didn't. Oh no.
You said, oh,
Gee,
no,
I'm
not
tired of
you.
him. He just tried it and tried it. I said, oh no, you didn't bust out a belt.
That is funny.
Yeah, she tried the soft parenting and talking and talk. So yeah, my mom, she don't spank all the time. You
Yeah.
know, she'd try to go to your room go to your room.
Yeah.
But at the last straw, when
You knew
done
it was
worked
the
that
last
nerve,
straw.
You knew
Okay.
it was coming.
Yeah. How are the boys in your family?
She got them too.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like they just got away with more. I couldn't dare try some of the stuff they did. It's like they didn't have a curfew.
Okay. Yeah.
But she seemed like she was softer with them.
Mm.
And then I've been accused of that for some reason.
I'm sorry.
For some reason, I've been
please.
accused of that.
I think
But
that's
I don't see it.
I think that's the parenting style that you got from your mother. Let the boys do whatever they want, and the girls held them close.
Okay. That's
Clench,
what you are.
clench the shirt.
That's what you are.
Don't stray away
say.
too far.
That's what you all seem to think.
Okay. So I want you to go down the list of your children from oldest to youngest, and what's something that you learned about them as the parent perspective from oldest to youngest. Like, what's something each of your children either taught you about motherhood or something that you just learned about who they are and their personality?
Okay. For my Sammy, he tried you. It's almost like he wanted to do things just to upset you. Just to see or get a reaction out of you.
Yeah.
One time we were at church.
Uh-huh.
And, God.
I love story time.
We were at church at a wedding.
Uh-huh.
And I went to the washroom. When I came back, he told Miss Susie, the wedding cake got knocked down. He said, Miss Susie, Tell my auntie I knocked down the wedding cake. He like he wanted me to have a heart attack. Miss Sue said, Sam, I'm not going to do that. So he just...
But he didn't knock down.
No, he didn't.
He just wanted you to think that.
Yes. And he
such a psycho.
He was a mess. But so intelligent, very intelligent.
I can agree with that.
That boy, he used to drive me crazy.
Yeah.
And he always, auntie, you know I love you.
Yeah.
He always showed me love. He would push the last straw.
The last of the last.
But he would show me love
That's
and appreciation.
Awesome. Okay. What about your oldest girl?
Oh, that'd be Baby.
Camille.
That'd be Camille. A lot of people accuse her of being Little Auntie Lynn.
For real, she is all the time. She is most like you. I don't disagree with that. Even her nieces and her her niece. You only got one niece. Her niece and her nephews, they say the same. We talk about that all the time. She definitely has your spirit.
She is. She's a sweetie and a giving heart.
Yeah.
A giving heart.
Yeah.
Well, you and her follow my footsteps.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Going into education.
Yeah.
But
did you think that? Like we would
never.
That's crazy.
Ever would have thought that.
That's
she
crazy.
went to school in business.
Yeah.
You went to school in
psychology.
Psychology. I never. But you both followed my footsteps, and I was honored. I was honored.
Okay.
But yeah, she has that giving heart.
Yeah.
Little Auntie Lynn. Jimbo. James Perez. Still trying me to this day. I still love him.
Your baby boy.
My baby, my chocolate.
My chocolate, yes.
I love him. And he's extra. He's extra. And you all been telling me for years, and he's a slickster.
Yeah.
But he's still my baby boy.
For
and
sure.
He's a good son.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good son. A blessing.
Yeah.
Then you, baby girl. The end.
The end, period.
Yes. A joy.
Aww.
A joy. So well spoken. I'm very pleased and speechless about you. I never forget. I'm still sheltering and still coddling.
Right.
And I always tell this story.
Yeah.
All through, you the last one.
Right.
So I was taking you to school, all through school.
Mm-hmm.
Here you are in high school. You remember?
Yes.
And you said, Auntie, can I go to school? I could take the L to school. I said, you know your way on the L. You said, yeah. I get on the L and I get off on 2 stops and I'm at school.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, call me when you get there. Because you told me, you said, because you making me late for school every day and I have to do the merits.
I had a detention. Because you made me late.
You making me late every day for school. And I was
remember that.
Oh my God.
I sat up in detention. I was like, I don't belong here. What am I doing here?
So I said, oh, you know your way to school because I sheltered you all so much.
Yes.
And I said, okay then. So then I said, when you get to school, call me.
Yeah.
And so then you got to school.
I left.
Said,
you was at home
school.
getting dressed.
I said, you at school? I'm still at home trying to find something to put on.
Yeah.
That just tickled me so. So I was just
got up out of there.
Because I have to do in-school suspension.
Yeah, in-school suspension or detention.
Every day.
I remember sitting up in that room. I was like, I do not belong here. I'm like, I'm only here. You know, the kids in there for being smart with their teachers and a whole bunch of other disciplinary stuff. And I'm only in there because I'm late to school.
And I'm late because Auntie can't get ready. She want to drop me off. So I was like, oh, wow, you know your way to school.
Yeah, been taking that train ever since. Mm-hmm. Rain, sleet, snow. I was there.
Yes.
But yeah, that's awesome. What are some words of advice or encouragement that you can give to current and future mothers that's raising the next generation?
Well, this world is not, it's a mean world.
Mm-hmm.
You have to show your children love, um, spend time with them,
Mm-hmm.
spend quality time with
Yeah,
them.
that's good.
Know their whereabouts because it's nothing going on. It's nothing nice. I was told you all. I did run the streets a little bit. But the streets not nice now.
Yeah.
It's not nice.
Yeah.
And know where your children are.
Mm-hmm.
Spend time with them.
Yeah.
Show them love. Show them how to and speak words of aspiration to them.
Mm-hmm.
Show them that you mean business,
Right.
but still show them love.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see people out talking to their children and cussing them out. Something
I
terrible.
hate to see it and hear it.
That's not love. That's not love.
Mm-hmm.
You can be angry and still show love, but
That's right.
speak words of inspiration into
Yeah.
them to make them want to go somewhere and do something and be somebody.
Yeah.
Because they're all capable.
Yeah.
We're all capable.
Absolutely. That was so good. So before we close, I just want to speak words of inspiration to you, Auntie. I just first of all want to just say thank you for taking us in as your children. I think where I sit now, I didn't see it back then, but where I sit now, it's like, wow, it's truly a blessing to be adopted by your own aunt that kept you with your siblings. And yes, like I remember you saying, I thought you and your siblings would be closer. Like we still grew up together. We still have experience. When you talk about that quality time, you spent quality time with us. And something that you do with your grandchildren now, like you always instill the message like it takes a village. So thank you for showing up for us through those challenging times, because I saw the highs, I saw the lows, like losing your mom, losing both of your sisters, facing all of these obstacles and these challenges, raising 4 children and doing it like the strong Black woman that I see in you today. I'm super, super honored, but very, very proud of you. And I love you. And I just thank you for how you show up for all of your children. Even us being grown, like I know at the end of the day that I can still call on you. Like I remember when I got in trouble at school, story to come, and I didn't want to call you, but at the end of the day, I could call you and you like, how can we handle this? And, you found a solution and different things like that. So I'm like, even still, like with the lows and with the highs, like you are there. And so thank you for being a presence. You always made sure, or you encouraged us to be around the right crowd of people, the mentors that we have in our lives, like the extracurricular activities. We traveled the world with this lady, Australia, Canada, Jamaica, Mexico. I can name them, y'all. Like we've been there and you took us with you to explore the world and go through the journey of life and learn and live and like all of that exposure. So I thank you. We are blessed. Our children are blessed because of you. Like you are our matriarch in our family. So I love you.
Love you too.
And thank you guys so much. That is a wrap on today's episode. I hope that something was said to inspire you. I hope that something was said that you resonated with. Please don't keep it to yourself. Let me know that you watched this podcast episode by saying, we live, y'all. And that's in dedication to my aunt. I am holding the space for her mom, which is my grandma that you see back here. Let me see. Over here. Okay.
Yeah.
That way. Oh, okay. And then today is April 5th, and it's my mother's death anniversary. So we are holding the space for her as well. So stay tuned, guys, for more. Love you guys. See you later. Woo!